Guys, wait for a couple people to get in here. I am at the mill in Jefferson. Been here most of the morning, got a ton of stuff done. Donnie was here with me for quite a few logs. He had to roll. He had something, I think he had to go do some banking or something before they closed. But I have a mega hemlock to tackle right now for you guys. I'm gonna turn this around so you can see it. That is a beast. Kyle Powers, hello from Chicago. Hello, buddy. All right, guys, I'm trying this on the Starlink. I'm not sure how the internet connection is going to be, but that's Elon Musk's Starlink. We're going to try that. I got a Bouge RV power box powering the router. This is the router right here. And then we're at the sawmill. I have like decent service out here normally, so maybe I could just switch it back over to cellular data if that cuts out again, but it looked like it cut out once already. All right, I think we just found the answer on that Starlink that might not be the answer for this show. So I'm gonna switch it back to cellular. I just switched it back to cellular. I'm gonna shut Elon off over here with the Starlink. I don't know. It seems to kick me off and reconnect and boot, and I know that's super frustrating for you guys when you're trying to watch. So I'm gonna mill this mega hemlock out. It's like 19 inches at the end down there, and it's like 15 foot long. So you guys like to figure out board footage, can figure that out. I'm just looking to get 2x8s out of it, and anything left over I'll take down to like a 2x4, because you could always use more 2x4s on a project. We are at 37 2x8s right now. We need 57, I believe, and that should be the last of the dimensional lumber. I think we have to do one more 6x6, and then all of the lumber is milled for this wilderness camp project. So I'm getting excited the nearer and the closer we get to it. We're into some giant hemlock, which is not fun with two people. Donnie was milling with me all morning, but he had to go do some banking or something before it closed. So I'm gonna try to do this mega one on my own. It's gonna be a challenge, and I love a challenge. So then the other challenge, I'll be able to show you. I don't know if I can show you this. I'm gonna zoom in so I don't have to get too close. Is we have some neighbors here, some nice white face hornets. Decided to build a home, and they built it pretty darn quick. Right here next to the mill. There's the mill where I stand. There they are. We haven't had any problems yet, but I also haven't come over here very often on this side. So I think I'm gonna leave them be. Oh man, look at them coming and going like crazy. Oh, look at them all. If you guys have ever been stung by a whiteface, you know how they are. They hit a little harder. Let's just say it that way. Yeah, they definitely hit a little harder. I guess I'm shooting this live in vertical. What would you guys prefer? Leave it in the comments if you like vertical or horizontal, if you're watching this on your phone, or if you're watching this on like a computer or television. It helps me for the next time I go live to know, what people are preferring. I got a couple minutes to take a couple questions before I fire the old mill up and get through this thing. The mill's been acting up. I think one of the hydraulic pumps that runs the forward backwards is acting up. So it cost us a blade earlier because it just took off on its own and just kind of went through a piece of wood, made a really weird cut, and broke a blade. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Size of a basketball, basically. Yeah, Justin Harding said he found one of those in his backyard. This one's about the size of a basketball. It's growing. It was a softball the first day I noticed it. Now it's a basketball. So I think one of these cold mornings I'm going to come out and give it the old 12 gauge and see how it handles that before we have a problem with the mill. But they haven't bothered yet, knock on wood. And I got a big piece of wood right there. They haven't bothered yet, so we're gonna we're gonna leave them alone. If you guys see me jumping, running, and dancing halfway through this live video and maybe swearing a little bit, it's because those white face don't want to tolerate me around anymore. But I could see them coming and going like crazy, building that nest and feeding their young ones or whatever else they're doing. There he is. There's Nick. Nick Linder's on, guys. We're milling this giant hemlock. I don't know if you guys have hemlock in Minnesota where Nick is, but it's an awesome, awesome building material. We milled a couple spruce this morning. I'll show you that. And then the rest of them that we've been milling are hemlock. If we had more spruce, we would mill more spruce. But that whiter one right there, it's a lot lighter weight, has smaller knots. And then the rest of this is our 2x8s right here. And then that's our floor stringers. Those are 2x10s. And then what we're going to put our camp on, these are 6x6s that we're going to have the camp and put that on those. And then our 2x4s are down yonder. And we have some boarding boards over here and a big slab pile there. And yeah, so we got 20 people on. Any fishing in Minnesota this year? Justin, I'm going to be doing some fishing. I'm going to set something up with Nick. We're also going to do an overnight on the ice and meet and greet the fans and subscribers. So there's going to be some serious fishing in Minnesota this year. I'm trying to kind of hit a couple new areas in Minnesota and bring Donnie with me. So that should be around the time of the show if there is ice. You know, that's the only trouble with doing an event like that is you're always relying on Mother Nature for good ice. But Moxie ice cream. We have Moxie floats. It's like a root beer float, but it's even more popular and they taste better. So, all right, guys, if you're just tuning in now, I'm going to try to tackle this mega hemlock by myself. Not fun. They're not fun with 2 people. They're not really even that much fun with 3 people. But I'll show you how big this one is. We're looking at just measuring across her. We're looking at 19 to 20 inches, right around 20 inches. And it's 15 foot long. So there's some serious board foot in that log right there. The shape of it, just so you can see, because it's kind of hard with the milling. Excuse me. It's got a little bow to it on the top. So I'm going to have to cut that bow out and then get to some good straight stuff. Hopefully it's not shaky at all, meaning that there's any hidden cracks in there that's going to weaken the lumber for when we go to use it. If there is, I might have to junk it. But we're crossing our fingers because it's a lot of hard work. So where you're going to see me struggle, because the mill's going to be loud, I won't be able to talk unless I shut it off each time. But where you're going to see me struggle is after the first couple cuts. I'm going to take a slab off this. It's going to go in the slab pile. It's just junk. It's just the bark. And then the next one's going to be a 2-inch piece with a lot of bark on it that I'm going to probably just throw to the ground to pick up for later. And then I got to roll this log, and this log is heavy. It is a heavy lumber in itself, hemlock is. And this one happens to be green, which means that it's wet. And yeah, it'll be hard to roll it by myself, but I think I can do it. Milling those shakes. I don't know if we can mill shakes, Freedom, about those cedar shakes that you sent me in the comments. I was actually going to talk to Donnie about finding someone who already is milling something like that and seeing if they can do a custom for you. But otherwise, if you look up Froe, F-R-O-E, it's an old tool that they used to use in Maine to make cedar shingles. And you'd kind of hit it with a hammer on the top, and it would slice down and make like little tiny pizza cuts around the top of a cedar tree, you know, over a round. And that's how they actually made shingles for a long time. So you might be able to make customs with with a Froe if you can find one. I'm sure you could find one on the internet cheap or at an antique store. And I might have a couple kicking around. I think Donnie might too. But I'll talk to Donnie about it later on tonight. But so, all right, guys. So we got 24 people viewing. Got a couple thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the mill. I'm going to get you guys set up here. I haven't heard if you guys are watching this on your phones, if you want to see it vertical or horizontal. So I'm shooting vertical today. Hopefully that works for you guys. I'm going to lock you in here. All right, I think you're locked in pretty good. And you're going to see me down at the other end of the mill, running it right towards you guys. All right, let's see if we can trim this baby down. Oh, I got to get protection first. All right, guys, I'm going to go after this hemlock. Okay, I got the first 2 cuts off that thing. I got 2 on the ground to cut. One's going to be a 2x4. The other might be a 2x8. But the hardest part of this entire job is going to be the next 5 or 10 minutes. That's why I shut that off so you guys can hear me maybe grunt and groan a little bit. Man, these are heavy. Gravity. All right, so now I gotta roll this log, and it is a absolute beast. I know Donnie and I would struggle on this one together, so I'm gonna have to find one burst of big energy to try to get this thing to roll. Hopefully you guys are looking at it. Yeah, you got a good view of it. I need to get this flat spot right here flipped 90 degrees and up against the stanchion. So in order to put as much pressure as possible on this, I want those stanchions up as high as I can. I can always lower them before I run the blade. There we go. There's one. All right, there's 2. Now I'm going to take the pressure off it where I had it laying flat. And the goal of these things is to get all 4 sides square and flat, and then into what they call a cant. And then if you're going to do it, then it's not a cant. Then you could get your lumber out of it. So, I don't know. Not quite sure how this is going to go, so cheer me on, guys, because this is a beast. No, that's not good. We can't be having that. That would have been ugly. Get back. All right. Let's try it again. All right, here we go. All right. Got it. I'm going to lock it in. Sweet. Looks to be about 90 degrees. Took a little grunting and groaning, weren't that bad. Now I got to lower these because they're within range of the blade. And I don't want to run the blade into those or it would snap the blade in a second. You son of a gun. All right, these prevent the log from just rolling right off the mill. You got that one? I'm just gonna lower this one. All right, there we have it. All right, I'm gonna check back in with you guys, see how everything's going. Donnie's doing okay, yes. Donnie's feeling a lot better. He was really, really sick on that last trip and may have overdone it on that 90-degree day and wasn't good. You do the lifting. Here we go. I like it, Mike. All right, so this is the log I'm working on right here. It's a beast of a hemlock. I'll try to get you guys a really cool angle. Let me see. Maybe something like that for now. And I'm gonna I'm gonna take a slab off the top and then probably another piece too. I think I got about 16 inches here. Yeah, a little bit over 16 inches here. So I'm gonna run her down, and here we go, guys. Trying to make 2x8s for rafters for a wilderness cabin. All right, we got the main log down to 8 inches, as you can see there. And that's because I'm milling for 2x8s. So I'm gonna flip that log over and I'll already have my 8-inch wide. And then every cut after that's gonna be 2 inches at a time to give me that two inch thickness. And then the 2x8s are just about 15 foot long. They're gonna be our rafters. We're gonna have a 10 pitch for the roof on this wilderness camp. All right, I'll see. Kyle's anniversary. Happy anniversary, buddy. It is an awesome looking log. Yeah, and you can get so much out of them. We got 11 2x8s out of the last log we did, and I don't know how much a 14-foot 2x8 costs nowadays. You guys can probably figure that out or look it up, but multiply that by 11 and add 2 more 2x4s in there, and it was definitely worth doing that one. So right now I'm gonna roll this log. So I got to take the top 2 slabs off it. Top one's gonna end up being 2x4. The second one I can probably squeeze a 2x8 out of that, and then I'm gonna be able to see how many we're gonna get out of this entire log. So you guys can watch me grunt and groan on this one. This first one's going to the ground. And since this log is so wide, the second one's got to go to the ground too. I hate to, because that means I got to pick that one up again. Well, maybe I can do it. The heck with it. Let's just put it to the ground, deal with it later. That's heavy. All right. Last roll for this log. Holy cow. And she's heavy. It's amazing how heavy this thing is. All right, now we got those are 8 inches wide now. So every 2 inches off that's a rafter for us. So that's pretty exciting. And then these other ones are a challenge too. I guess I'm gonna do a couple of those. She heavy. All right, I can get 8s out of those. The rest of these are 2x4s. And it's 14 inches, so top one might be a little iffy, but we should be able to get 7 there, 8, 9. 2x8 out of this log. Pretty excellent. getting there, guys. We are getting there. I got it down to an 8x8 block now. So that means we're gonna have 4 2x8s left to mill in that cant log right there, in that square. This is stuff we can use on other projects if we want. But out of these, I got 2 more right here. So I don't know if anybody had a chance to look that up yet, but I'm kind of curious how much a 14 or 15, call it 14 foot 2x8 goes for nowadays. It's hemlock. You could kind of compare it to pressure treated in a way. It has a lot of rot resistance, but it's not pressure treated. But it's probably somewhere between regular spruce and pressure treated for longevity. But this is actually a true 2x8. So if we look it up online or wherever and find out how much a 14 foot 2x8 goes for, you're really buying like 1.5 by 7.5 probably, or something like that. So, but I'm curious to know if anybody knows off the top of their head, or if they look it up, how much a 14 foot 2x8 would cost, because then we can figure out how much this log was worth, or how much we saved by milling this log ourselves. So there's 3 there, 4, 5. I'm gonna get 4 more, so we're gonna get a total of 9 2x8s out of this one log, and then I have 3 2x4s on the ground here that I could pull out of that slab wood. Oh, they are heavy. All right, I'll check a couple comments, and then the last one to go. 45 watching and 29 likes. Yeah. Oh, 37 likes and 42 watching. That's pretty cool. Just think of all the fire starters, the boys. Yeah, no kidding. Out of that pile of sawdust, you're right. How many man hours do you have into this melon project? Depends if you consider us a man or not. I think we're acting like men on this one. So, geez, that's a great question. I mean, we fell some of the trees. Jamie cut a lot of the trees for Donnie, a great logger in this area from town, Jamie Peasley. And then, we bucked it into lengths, and then at the mill here, and it's not a crazy fast mill, so we got a lot of hours into it. But lucky for us, we got a lot of hours, or we've had a lot of hours that, like right now, I got employees still at the ice cream shop, so I'm paying them so that I can be here. But hours wise, geez, I don't know. I really don't know. We'd have to sit down and think that in. But it looks like we got a couple guys watching from down east. All right, so here we go. Here's some numbers. Bad Crispy came in with some numbers. He says between $19 to $29 from the Monads. And that's for 2x8 by 14 pressure treated. Okay, so $19 to $30 pressure treated. This is like hemlock. This is hemlock. It's not pressure treated, but it's not too far off, to be honest with you. So let's just say, I don't know what a spruce would cost, like a kiln dried or regular one you'd buy, but I gotta believe they're over 15 bucks, close to 20 bucks. So maybe we got 180 into this log, and it was just gonna lay down and rot anyway. It was on Donnie's property, and Donnie loves to harvest the lumber out here especially for stuff you can use. So that's awesome. CJ's checking in. What's up, buddy? Just talking about you yesterday to my buddy Nick, who's also watching, talking about some early ice season crappie fishing. But yeah, I'll check in with some more comments, guys. I'm gonna finish this log off. I have 3 more cuts should do it, actually. So I'm gonna finish this baby off, set you guys in a pretty good location so you can see what's going on. There we go. and make my last recasts. All right, that's it. So we got 9 of them. Pretty awesome. Really, really, really nice ones. They're going to be super strong. They'll outlast me. I promise you that. Let's take a peek at them. You guys at home can see them. Not at all shaky. Real nice looking stuff. So we got 9 total. One of the viewers, Bad Crispy, said Clifford's Lumber in Vermont wants 23.25 for hemlock, spruce, or pine 2x8x14, and Maine hemlock has to be worth more. I like it. So 23 times 9 gets you 107, and the quarters gets you $210. So $210 worth of 2x8s right there. And then we got 3 2x4s. I'm going to cut out of those later on once I get a couple more 2x4 slabs to cut out. So you figure we're doing 57 of those. 57 times 23.25 is well over $1,000. So we have, it's cost a little bit of money. $5 in gas to mill these, and you know some blades here and there and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're going to be saving a pile of money on the lumber for this cabin. Things we're planning on buying for wood would be the Advantech for the subfloor, and it's kind of hard to beat that Advantech for subfloor and to keep it tight, make sure you don't have mice and no squeaks or anything like that. We put it down with glue and actually screw it in like every 10-12 inches or something like that. But I'm here to answer a few more questions, guys. I'll give you a little heads up what's coming up on the channel. If I can get in the editing room, it's not easy right now. We're a little bit behind on the milling, so that's why I'm out here. I'll be out here late at night for the next couple nights. But I just got back yesterday from going up north, and I got a pile of content and footage recorded for you guys. I mean, a lot. We went a little bit over 4 days hard. We got a couple special guest appearances that, if you've been following the channel closely, you know who it is. If you haven't, you're going to be in for a surprise who was up there doing the work. And we got a ton of work done. Most wilderness camps like that, it's really hard to get a base and a foundation under them. You either got to get lucky and build it in a good spot, or you just kind of build on what you have. And I think that's what leads to a deterioration on a lot of those camps is it doesn't have good ground earthwork and footings and stuff. So what we're going to do for ours is just too far to pour concrete, and not really cost effective to pour a foundation under it or anything like that. And it is just a camp. It's a winter cabin, winter camp in the wilderness. We hauled in hundreds of yards of slate. We went hard. I rented an excavator and a couple borrowed dump trailers, and we hauled in a wicked bed of slate, and with like mixed in gravel and broken shale. And that's probably, geez, I bet you we got 30 inches of that down the bottom and maybe 10 inches up top. And then that packs like crazy. Then on top of that, I found a pit off of the land that we're on for different wood owner, and they said they'd sell me gravel for $3 a yard. Pick and poke, go get your own. So we had some super nice gravel and top coated. Probably, I don't know, I gotta believe 2 to 6, 2 to 8 inches, depending on where you were. We top coated the rest of it, so that way it's, you're not gonna be slashing tires, and you can move it around a little bit. And that's gonna be our parking area and also what we're building off of. So we're way ahead on what we're building from, and we're pretty excited about the foundation that we have under there now. Yeah, hire one of them scoopers to do some editing on your channel, and we'll watch when you get to it. Yeah, no, I hear you there. I've actually thought about that for a long time, about being able to get more content and create more content and get more stuff to you if I had an editor. And it's just so hard because of how unique my channel is, and how I don't really have a a blueprint for how to do it. I'd started a golf channel too. That one's called Joey Shanks, if you guys are interested in that stuff. And the golf channel, if I ever wanted to, I could hand the editing off to that to anyone, and they'd be able to do it blueprint because you have like hole number one tee shot, hole number two approach shot, hole number three putt, and then it's hole number two. It goes in order like that. So there's a pretty easy blueprint. But for the stuff I'm doing with like the winter camping and the ice fishing and the logging and stuff that I find interesting that maybe some other editors wouldn't. It's really hard for me to hand over the editing to this channel, but it's something I do think about often. And if the right person ever comes around, that's proficient and efficient with both the computer, the editing software, and what's okay to put on the channel, then I'd be definitely down to pay someone to do that and create more content and be able to grow the channel more. But yeah, so I think I'll try to start editing tonight. I'm pretty wiped out today. We handled a bunch of these big guys here, so we had I think we're down to like 15 more maybe tops, maybe 15, 16 2 by 8s we got to do. we need a 6x6 16 footer. That's no light chore. We'll probably mill that tomorrow, and then after that, we're gonna be hauling this lumber up country real soon and start the build. So really appreciate all you guys supporting the channel. Um, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna have it on this channel, and my other channel, JH Rough Cut, is most of the wood stuff, and we might go a little bit more in detail on that channel as far as like how to hang rafters or how we build our floor system, or how we mill for our own build, or stuff like that. We might go into more detail that might bore a lot of my fishing viewers and stuff. So that's why I started that other channel. That one's called JH Rough Cut. It's growing pretty good. It's got like 260 subs or something like that, and it's mostly stuff here at the mill or cutting down trees and stuff like that. But a lot of the technical stuff on the build will be on that channel, and a lot of the like the vlogs and the human interest stuff, and also some of the building stuff will be on this channel too. So that's what you have to expect in the future, guys. Um, yeah, Donnie's doing better. He had a little rough spell up north. He come down sick, and the day before our trip, and decided he wasn't going to miss out. And then it was like 90 degrees the whole ride up, no air conditioning. And then we got there, and he just immediately jumped into the work, and he hadn't drank any fluids all day. And I think the dehydration got him, and he laid down about 3 in the afternoon, and that was last time we saw him till about 7 in the morning the next morning. So it's not often he misses dinner and we're cooking dinner. He was hurting pretty bad, but he pulled through it. He's a trooper. Hello, bro, from Russia. That is so cool. I can't begin to pronounce that. Anna, I'd have to get a translator for a name. I'm gonna guess it's like Alexis. That is awesome. Somebody from Russia's viewing in on this guy. So let's welcome him. I got another viewer from Germany. Roast and Toast is always watching on the channel. It's pretty cool to see how far the channel gets spread worldwide and even across the state too. I got a lot of the guys. It's very humbling to meet like a subscriber or viewer and someone who likes the channel. And it's funny for me to get to watch. I've been getting that for years, being humbled by it. But it's really cool to watch like Donnie or Stevie or Brandon or Cameron also get humbled by meeting viewers and hearing stories of stuff that they've liked to watch in the past. So one thing I always do is I always give people the time of day, and with a lot of respect. If someone's going to take a minute out of their day to say hi to me, you better believe I'll be taking at least a minute out of mine to return it. So yeah, it was cool on this last trip. We ran into some viewers up in Ashland, and also in Bangor and in Portage Lake. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, so we're home for a couple more days. We're gonna be, yeah, there you go, Lymington, Maine. It's awesome seeing everybody from all over Maine too. But yeah, we're gonna be milling pretty hard between raindrops the next couple days. We're bringing it right down to the wire. This hemlock's not gonna get a chance to dry much. It's gonna be heavy. Rafters, are going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say. They're going to be heavy. 2x4s, everything's going to be heavy on this job, but it's going to be built right. It's going to be built rugged, and we're going to have ourselves one heck of an awesome wilderness camp when it's done that we can snowmobile out of, ice fish out of, deer hunt, bird hunt, all that fun stuff. And like I said, guys, we really appreciate all the support from all over the country and all over the state and all over the world, really. Um, I might mill that one other log tonight. I'll probably go off of live here pretty soon. Are you going to go ice fishing at Cat Hands Lake this winter? That's a great question. Um, I heard the ice sketchy out there. I don't know if it's because all rock piles or what it is, but the boys did ice fish it some last year, and it was sketchy. But I think if I get an invitation from my buddies that live on the lake or down east boys, I would never turn it down. The trouble is you got West Grand in that same ballpark, and you got East Grand pretty much in that same ballpark as far as I'm concerned. And West Grand's just putting out some incredible fish as far as, solid salmon. It's not putting out monster salmon like it had in the past, but it's putting out big togue. If you want to put the work in, you could catch awesome numbers of togue. Good whitefish, staving lake trout. Staving lake trout. I've seen a couple big ones caught, and Brandon and the boys caught a couple big ones, and some of their buddies have caught even bigger ones. And then East Grand's really, I wet my whistle on that lake last winter. That's a video you guys are going to see coming up pretty soon here. I got to edit that one. But that was a special fishery with some big staving trout in there too. So I haven't really planned out this winter yet. The only plan I have right now is Donnie and we're going to head out to that ice show, that ice fishing show in St. Paul, Minnesota. Last year it was like December 2nd or December 3rd or something like that. And I had to rush home to get to that at a Sebago Bait open house to help out Wayne and Andrew down there. I think I had to be home by like the 10th, so I stayed and fished for a couple days after. But what we're planning this year is not to rush back. And Donnie and I we're gonna do some fishing in Minnesota, see if we can get some walleye topside and vacuum sealed and bring a bunch of them home to eat all winter. And and we're gonna travel a little bit around Minnesota, maybe go for muskie too. I don't know if that's a thing to do out there or not, but the pan fishing's out of this world. It was so much fun pan fishing with Sea Hill Chill Guide Service, a buddy of Alex Timms, who's a buddy of mine, and the three of us went out, and it was just awesome. If you get a chance to watch uh, those videos, I think you guys would enjoy it. That day. Alex caught that 25-pound muskie by the tail, and it was over an hour and a half fight. But yeah, I'd like to get Donnie out there to do that. I think I'm gonna do an ice fishing seminar out there in Minnesota. It's where we sleep right on the ice and invite people to join us. With their own tents. Of course, we don't have the room in ours, and we'll take over a cove or a lake or an area of a lake, and we'll put on a little seminar and just show people how we do it back east, and I can teach people how to use the live scope and Garmin, and I can even help people out with their electronics if they want to bring it out. I'm pretty proficient with Humminbird and Lowrance and Ray Marine and any of them really. I can help you with your electronics, and then show you guys like what we use for jack traps and how we set up for fish from the east, and might be able to help you out there. And we'd be willing to. We would love to learn too. How you guys ice fish there, and meet people, and there's no doubt Donnie'd cook his donuts, his world famous donuts, one morning on the ice, and we'd probably cook some deer steak or some moose steaks on the ice too. So, be a good great time to meet some of the subscribers from the Minnesota area, and spend 2 or 3 days on the ice with them if they want to do that. So that's the plan now. Of course, you got to have ice in early December for that, and then I've just seen so much support from Wisconsin on this channel and everybody I've ever met from Wisconsin, and a couple of them even came this summer and stopped by the ice cream shop. That I think we're gonna swing over to Wisconsin after and try our hand at some Wisconsin fishing, some pike fishing, and maybe get together with the guys from Acme Tackle. They're great guys over there, and they're from Wisconsin, and the Eskimo guys, and maybe do the same thing, like a meet and greet, 2-3 days seminar on the ice. So yeah, so gonna see you and Donnie at the ice fishing show. Can't miss you this year, but that's for sure. We're probably gonna get over to the Eskimo booth. I know a couple of the guys there that are real good guys for Eskimo, and we're gonna probably show you guys how we do our winter setup right there for people who can't come out and meet us on the ice. So you'll definitely want to check in at the Eskimo tent. I'm usually over at the Garmin tent for a while too, picking their brains on what's coming next, or how they could possibly improve. Just blows my mind that you can improve on what they're already doing. But yeah, so, and then you'll see me around the show. It's a 3-day show, and I don't believe you could see it in 2 days. You got to be really rushing through to see everything in 2 days, all the new products and some of the old products and some really cool stuff. So if you're into ice fishing, I highly recommend that show. That blew my mind. It on the Northeast, ice fishing's big, but it's not huge. And I felt like I was right at home with everybody out there. It's huge out in Minnesota, out that way. So yeah, so I'll stay on here for a couple more questions, guys. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, and I'll answer those for you. And then I'm gonna sign off here, head back, and start to do some editing from that trip. I don't. It's just monumental amount of content and footage, and kind of how you got to put it together. And yeah, it's gonna be a beast. But I got to get that up pretty soon, and that stuff should air while I'm heading back up to do some more and film some more. So feel free, guys. Any questions? Um, I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes, and then I'll head out. But otherwise, really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Um, really support, really appreciate you guys supporting Donnie all the time and dropping comments for him. And he's just an awesome guy that loves doing what he's doing and loves hunting, fishing, trapping, camping, loves the outdoors, and is really just an excellent builder and a phenomenal human being. So I I really appreciate all the support for him, and he's like one of my best friends and mentors, obviously, and love having him on the channel, and I love seeing all the public responses, whether it be private ones on here or when we're in public. If somebody recognizes him, it still blows his mind when they come up and say hello, and he loves talking to everybody. So yeah, so I guess we don't really have any questions coming in. Um, what, what else? I went over the plans. Mill's running okay. Hopefully we can finish her off here. And yeah, tractors are running, mill's running. I got to bring some fuel and water for tomorrow, and we hopefully can dodge that some raindrops and dodge that hurricane that's heading up to Maine pretty soon. Yep, I think that's about it. So I don't know if you guys can get through with questions, or let me know where you're from. But I shot this one vertical, as you can see, with an iPhone. Let me know also in the comments, and I'll be able to see them later, if you guys like it in vertical or horizontal. I think it's a lot easier for me to get everything in the picture going horizontal. But I don't know how that translates on your phones if you're watching on your phone. So if you let me know if you'd rather see it vertical or horizontal, if you're watching it on your phones, or if you're watching it on like your televisions or your computers or iPads or something like that, because that's gonna that'll help a lot for how we shoot these lives in the future, because we plan on doing a bunch of them. Zach loves watching that mill run. Yeah, I do too. Can you do more live? Yeah, definitely can do more live, Attila. Um, like I said, a lot of it comes down to like where we have service, and I picked up that Elon Musk Space Link or Starlink or whatever the damn thing's called, and it's spotty. It does work. It's spotty, but it drops a lot. Like it's great drop, and on a live video, that's awful hard to do. Yeah, the Twin City Ice Fishing Show, second to none. See you guys there. Watching from Milwaukee. Awesome. Yeah, Milwaukee's a place I got to come fish. I'd like to fish out in the harbors out there and try to get some of those big brown trout too. I've heard some amazing stories from that. Horizontal's best for the big screens for sure. Yep, and And if you guys just let me know if you're watching this on the bigger screens or your phones, then next time we might shoot this in horizontal rather than in vertical. Attila's from Hungary. That's amazing. It blows my mind to see all the different countries and all over the world that this channel's reaching. And the support we get is incredible. We get a ton of support from our Canadian brothers too. They're some great people. Yep. But yeah, there are some comments popping up. Looks like we got 33 people still on. Got 49 thumbs up, so people did like it. So I'll keep shooting them if people like it and comment on it and thumb it up. I'll keep shooting these in the future. It's a little bit longer to do, stopping and talking between cuts sometimes and just the setup alone. But yeah, if people are enjoying them, I'll keep doing them for sure. I know Donnie does too. I am tired. I'm wiped out. I'm not gonna lie. That 4 days up there was just, whew, that was like a sprint. Some serious hard work getting done. Not a lot of sleep getting done, and getting home and jumping right into it too. I told the viewers earlier we milled up 2 spruce logs that we brought down from up north from the property, and those were a pleasure to mill. As green as they were, they're still lighter than hemlock that's been down for 2 months. And the knots are real small on them, and they're clear and not at all shaky. And I could see why the mills buy spruce over hemlock or anything else. But what we have here, where Donnie and I live, and on Donnie's woodlot, is a lot of hemlock, a lot of white pine, and a lot of hardwood. So the best by far for building this camp's going to be the hemlock. West Grand, baby, I love it. I was just talking with Brandon and Cameron about West Grand, and they're really nervous about the ice there. I guess last year was a really tough year on ice, and there's no great access point there. Coming out by that dam with that moving water. I know Brandon rode a snowmobile down to the bottom there in about 20 foot of water once, and I've heard of some other people not making it out there. So it's got to take a decent year to get back on West Grand, but that West Grand Slam series that we shot is still to this day one of my favorite ice fishing series. We caught fish pretty much at will. We caught all the species you could ask for there. We caught big whitefish from Maine. We caught big togue. We caught beautiful landlocked salmon, as many as you could shake a stick at. And we caught some beautiful cusk too, which I like. So we had some good cusk nuggets going around. And then the camaraderie on that trip doesn't get much better. So yeah, and then we ran into some folks up in Ashland on our way home this trip when we were fueling up, and they're going to set up in Chamberlain at the Chamberlain parking lot this year. So Chamberlain's always one we like to ice fish too. You just got a chance at a huge native brookie, and you catch some big lake trout there too, and you're in the wilderness, so that's what makes it really nice. So I'm sure we'll fish Chamberlain. I'm sure we'll fish West Grand. I've never missed a year on Moosehead, good, bad, or indifferent. Moosehead's been tough on me, but I got it this last year. I was tough on her this last year, which you guys will see coming up pretty soon. And then I don't know. I mean, I'm always into the chasing giant crappie or state record crappie or state record yellow or white perch. That'd be a lot of fun too. And the bass fishing in Maine's fun, and you catch brook trout pretty much anywhere. And I wouldn't mind catching some rainbows this year coming up in Maine. But awesome, Attila. Well, we wish your dad a happy birthday. He's turning 50 pretty soon. That's great. We're I'm gonna wait for one. I'll wait for if there's any more questions or comments, guys, and I'm gonna shut this live down. And yep, 90 minutes. There you go, hour and a half. I'm gonna shut it down. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot for the support. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Donnie and I got some plans for tomorrow. We're gonna do some milling tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. Maybe we'll go live in the morning. So if you're at work, it'll give you a little background music. So Attila, have a good night, buddy. Happy birthday to your dad. Everybody else, have a great night, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the comments and the thumbs up, and hitting the subscribes goes a long way. And then when the live's gonna come back on, so people can watch it later. You could always throw a comment on there too. So really appreciate it, guys. Zach's coming up to Maine next week for vacation. Any must places or things to do? Whew, that's a tough one. What area? I guess knowing what areas is a key, but you can never go wrong on the lighthouses in Maine. Going and seeing the lighthouses are awesome. The Rockland Breakwater is a really cool one to walk because it's about a mile out. Pemaquid Harbor, Pemaquid Lighthouse is amazing. The State Museum, if it's open, is well worth seeing. If you're going up north at all and you're near Patton, that Lumberman's Museum is well worth it. I hope they're still open. Some things close after Labor Day. But yeah, that Lumberman's Museum, Donnie and I had all we could do to get through that in one day. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's hard when you live in a place, because you just kind of you take it for granted and you get to see it every day, But when you travel, there's places that you're like, oh, you got to go see this, you got to go see that. But a lot of it depends. Maine's a really big state, and a lot of it depends on like what area of Maine you're going to be in. But if you're around the mid-coast area, stop in at the Jefferson Scoop Ice Cream Shop. I guarantee you won't get a better scoop ice cream, but by better people either. Like my staff is they are the nicest, most thoughtful, caring people you'll ever meet in business, and they're super happy to help anybody and serve anybody. So if you're in the mid-coast area, name of that ice cream place is Jefferson Scoop. Can't ever go wrong there. Tell them you know me. Maybe they'll even give you a discount. If I'm there, I'll hook you up. But yeah, I can't think anything else right offhand, to do in Maine just because it's where I live. So, all right, CJ, good to see you, buddy. I'm looking forward to getting some fishing in and hearing some bird dog stories, and maybe Donnie and I can sneak over and chase one of them bird dogs around, old Otis or any of them this fall. Might be fun too if you can work us in for a half a day or something like that. But I'm gonna tune her out, guys. See if I can get in the editing room and go from there. Really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you on the next live.